Welcome to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Owen Hayes. You're watching Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented to you by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Today is Saturday, the 13th. We're getting that much closer. Well, one, to fall Chinook fishing on the Columbia, if it opens. Kidding. Also, hunting season right around the corner. You better be getting yourself prepared. If you're like me and you're getting ready for upcoming bow seasons, you had better be shooting, because this is the time. Don't be late on this, okay? Not to get too sidetracked. Today, we've got a very special show for you. For the very first time, in a very short period of time, Debbie Colbert. She is the new director for, Outdoor GPS, new director for ODFW here in the studio. The past 60 days, she's been running around the entire state, checking in with what's going on, and we've been able to slow her down for a Saturday morning here on Outdoor GPS to introduce to you for the very first time. I'm very excited about this. This is one of the things when you are in the outdoor world here in Oregon. Lots of concerns, of course, on opportunity. How do we get out there? When do we get to go out? What are these regulations? Are you an attorney today so that you can figure out what's going on based on real-time changes, right? Well, we're going to find out from Debbie what her thoughts are going forward and just learn who she is, where she came from, how we got to this point as her the new director for ODFW. Again, on a Saturday, this has never happened. You've all known that I've been doing this show since 2008. It's been 16 years, and I can honestly tell you this is a first, so we're super excited about it, and we're changing things up a little bit for today's show. I want to have as much time with Debbie as I can, so we're not going to be able to get to our typical information we do in this upcoming segment, but just real quickly, what a great week. It's been a fantastic week. I had a chance to spend a little bit of time in Coos Bay, hung out with the folks from the Mill Casino, Sharky's Charter Service, Spin Reel off-roading. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that I've been able to get out to do this week, but we're going to hold on to all that and your photos that everybody sends in until tomorrow so that we can just save a little bit of extra time. I know that a lot of you have questions for Debbie as well. On our Facebook page, we posted, I believe it was on Wednesday or Thursday, if you might have questions. We received nearly 100 questions from some of our viewers and from countless different sources of questions for Debbie. So for all of you that posted those questions, obviously we're not going to be able to get to all of them. We really do appreciate you engaging on that and asking very respectful questions, and just the way that everybody did it. Just goes to show you how much of a friendly group, in the end, outdoors people really are. So we're all going to have that opportunity to learn more about Debbie this morning. Again, there's lots and lots of questions. So if you posted some of those questions, pay attention. I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I can. Also, there's ways that we're going to enlighten you, that you can pose those questions yourself and engage with ODFW through a number of new ways that are being integrated now through ODFW, where you can participate in some of these discussions, policy changes, how things are going to change, and what's going to happen again in the future. So there's a lot of great things that we're going to be able to cover, and some things that you just flat out might not be aware of as an opportunity or a way that you can engage with ODFW yourself. Now, let's just all be honest here. You've listened to me for 16 years. You've heard me give ODFW a ration of a time for very good reason. There's no question that this is one of the most difficult things that you can do as a management group to cover Oregon when you're talking about fish and game. It's a massive state. We've got some of the best hunting and fishing opportunities in the country, unquestionable. Are there always issues? Absolutely. Are there ways that things can be done better? For sure. Are there things that are so difficult that none of us really understand how it gets done because we're too emotional to figure it out or spend the time to learn about it yourself? Absolutely. I'm one of them. But today is going to be a great opportunity. So for folks that are calling in, forgive me, I'm not going to be able to take any of your questions. We are just too buried with that today, but we appreciate you spending the time to do so. But before I go too far, we're going to switch gears a little bit here. I'm going to bring Debbie on right now. This is a first for us. Debbie Colbert, new director from ODFW.
Great to meet you
nice
in
to
person,
meet you. Yes.
And thanks for having me today.
I am, number one, we talked a little bit earlier prior to the show, super excited that you came into the studio on a Saturday. I know that you've been this has got to be a little bit of a whirlwind for you here in the last 60 days. You were just recently named the director for ODFW. Where have you been kind of in that last 60 days? I know that you said you've been doing some traveling. What kind of sticks out in your mind so far?
Well, it has become a little bit of a blur these 60 days.
Yeah.
But I've been on the east side meeting with livestock producers that are on the front line of dealing with wolf depredation and really trying to kind of work with them to solve that problem. I've been on the coast meeting with folks. I've been with the Cattlemen Association. In just a few weeks here, I'll be at the leadership campout with the Oregon Hunters Association in Diamond Lake. So just really trying to get out and engage with folks, get on the ground, see how things are going, and pretty much as best I can, if I'm getting invites, I'm trying to get there. So.
That's a fresh air for all of us to have you do that, honestly. There's always been, you know, kind of a take from the outdoors community that there's been a disconnect, right, with ODFW, other management sources that are out there, the feds, for crying out loud, that sometimes we kind of get left out, right, that we don't really get a full idea of what's going on until it's either pay us more money, no, you can't go there anymore, but we don't know why, right? And some of those questions I'm going to be asking you today.
Sure.
Are we good with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to cover a lot of fishing stuff because the majority of what we talk about on Outdoor GPS, just because of the year, you know, the way the year rotates, we talk a lot about fishing. So we're going to talk about that, hatcheries, predation, meaning sea lions, gill nets, you know, Columbia River management. We'll definitely have some questions about hunting, of course. Not to be selfish, but I might take a minute, at least for one question for myself. But there's hundreds of questions, it seems, that have come in. So we're just going to have some fun. And when we come back from this break, I want to learn where you're from, kind of how we got to this point, and what your thoughts are going forward. Is that okay?
Sounds great.
All right, everyone, we have Debbie Colbert. She is the new director for ODFW here in the studio. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us here on KPDX. We'll be back with more Outdoor GPS.